1.8K was made today trading fair value gaps on ES futures. In this video, I'm going to go over my bias as well as executions and my overall thought process throughout the trade. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys are following me on Instagram. If you guys have not already, this is where you can find me. My bias starts on the daily time frame. Our drawn liquidity coming into the morning session was this buy side liquidity, and we did see bullish price action the day before. As you guys want to take note, Tuesdays are generally a continuation of the prior day. So as you can see, Monday we had seen that bullish price action. So coming into market Tuesday, I was bullish, anticipating a continuation from Monday's bullish price action, as well as our draw on liquidity being this buy side liquidity on the weekly. I knew price wanted to reach up into this level, so overall from the daily time frame, my perspective was bullish. Coming into daily here for the dollar, as you can see, we had that bearish candlestick, that bearish doji the day prior, and coming into market we were bearish overall. So just like ES, like I was saying, that Monday create that high, and Tuesday anticipating that continuation. Same thing from the dollar here. We created this low here on the dollar the day prior, and coming into a market today, I was anticipating that continuation lower on the dollar. As you know, the dollar and the index markets, they're inversely correlated, so seeing the dollar go lower while the index market's going higher, that only then gave me confirmation. Looking at the H4 here, the overall order flow in the marketplace is higher prices. I'm not really seeing anything that's really telling me that the market wants to go lower. So if the market's not telling me that it wants to go lower, then why am I going to try to, pick the tops or, try to pick the bottoms in a falling market, just continue with the trend. So the trend right now is higher prices showing support at support levels. So I'm anticipating price coming down to a support level to then see that continuation higher. Looking at the dollar as well on the H4, some two things to take note of is this order block level right here on the dollar, as well as price breaking below this bullish fair value gap. Overall, just indicating bearishness in the dollar. The dollar obviously does not want to push higher. It obviously is finding rejection at rejection levels. So why am I going to try to force a bullish narrative on a falling currency? As well as our bias for the ES was higher prices. So seeing the dollar also go lower with our bullish bias, this then gave me confirmation, especially dollar breaking through this bullish fair value gap. It just shows that order flow for the dollar is bearish and it wants to continue lower. So I'm going to stick with that bearish bias. Coming into the H1 here, some key things I want to take note of is this bullish H1 fair value gap right here, as well as structure. As you can see, we created this low, push higher, higher low, push higher, higher low, push higher, higher low. Overall market structure is showing higher and higher prices. So right now, coming into the market opening, I'm anticipating a pullback lower into this level to then take the market higher into that buy side liquidity and potentially even higher. Same thing here with the dollar. We have this high, created this low. Price failed to get back up into this high multiple times, overall failing, and then we overall see that rejection here. I'm anticipating some type of pullback on the dollar, at least right here, to then continue lower, only then adding fuel to our overall narrative and looking for higher prices on the ES. Coming down into the M15, some things I want to take note of is this order block level right here. This M15 order block level, as well as this high right here. Anticipating something like a pullback lower back into this M15 order block to then see that continuation higher. So this is my overall narrative on the day. Order flow has been bullish, structure is bullish, as well as the dollar is giving inverse correlation, meaning the dollar is also going lower, which only then confirms our bias on the ES, as well as we marked out our structure and our overall support levels. So now coming down into the M5, we created that plan we have backing behind that plan, and now it's time to take the trade. Coming into the M5 here, the market opens, we see that strong push higher. We see a continuation higher, finally taking out that liquidity high. So after taking out this liquidity high, I'm anticipating some type of pullback to then see that continuation higher. See this move higher here, taking out that weekly buy side liquidity. Then we see this push lower here. I'm pretty sure this was a M15. Yeah, a M15 fair value gap here, which price did come and tap into. Right here, it came and tap into the high of it. It didn't go into it, but it did tap into the high of it. Then we seen that overall rejection from it. Also, we have this M5 fair value gap right here, and this is where I took my trade right here. Inside of this M5 fair value gap, after I seen price come down into this M15 fair value gap, and then seen this rejection wick like so. As you can see, price came down, tapped into that M15 fair value gap here on the wick, but the bodies, pay attention to the bodies. The bodies are still inside of this M5 fair value gap. That's overall a very, very good signature that I want to look for in price action. On the 25% level of this fair value gap, right about here, 4806.50. I had a 5-point stop loss, 4801.50, with a take profit about a 2 to 1 for 4816.50. See that push higher? We get this fair value gap right here, which I did put a limit order right here on this fair value gap, and I did move my stop loss just below this low, and I did put my take profit just one point above it at 4817.50. Let me move this. Price comes back lower, gets into our second trade, taps into it again, then we see that overall rejection, then we see that push higher. Price unfortunately does not get into our 4817 level. We've seen this push lower, then we see it take out this high right here. If I just took profit at this level, I still would have made a 2.9R, but wanting to hold for my final target at 4817.50, I can't lie, greed did get to me. Trying to hold for my final target when I saw the signatures, I saw the signs that price was not going to hold at these levels. I saw the signs, but wanting to get that extra 1 point, that extra 0.50 points, that greed did end up getting to me. And that's something that, that I have, had troubles in the past where I try to milk an extra 0.50 points or an extra 1 point, and price ends up, kind of reversing on me. So that's exactly what happened here, where I try to get an extra 1 point here on this trade, and then price overall just does not give it to me. So you can see price comes back down here. Boom. Then basically for the next, I think it was 4 or 5 hours, we just kind of consolidated here at this level, where price did come back at this level once again, but reluctant to take profit once again until my final target was met. I did not sell at this level when I probably should have, so I ended up essentially biting myself in the foot and ended up holding a lot longer than I should have, when I could have had the opportunity to sell here, and sell here, but I wanted to be a little bit more patient for my final target. Then we see the reversal once again. And now I'm like, 4 hours into a trade, 5 hours into a trade. And then I scale in once again right here. Think it was around this candlestick right here, 330, 333. My stop loss just about down here. My take profit just about up here. And that was, that was the trade. This was based on price finding support at this order block, as well as it being near that 345 macro. As you guys may know, from 345 to market close, we get a macro where a surge of volume kicks into a marketplace. 315 we came lower, tapped into this order block, shown respect to that order block, push higher, tapped into this order block, showed respect. So now I'm anticipating that 345 macro to see that surge of volatility come into a market to then hit our final target. And then our target was met just like so, that 4817.50 level. So that was the trade today. A lot learned today, and overall trade management and taking profits and not letting greed get the best of you. I hope you guys learned something today. Make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, as well as leave a comment on what I should talk about next, or leave a comment on some questions that you want to know. I'm Arkham.